Hi there guys, how's it going? Michael here. My first mirrorless camera was a Canon M6, and from a Canon M6 I moved to a Canon RP, and from Canon RP I've now upgraded to Canon R8. Why did I move to Canon R8? That's what this video is about. Let's get into it. Okay, the first thing is the Canon RP is about half the price of a Canon R8. So is the Canon R8 twice as good? Let's find out. So the Canon RP is 26 megapixels, but the Canon R8 is only 24 megapixels, but it's more expensive. Why is that? With a mechanical shutter for photography, the Canon RP can shoot at 4 frames per second, where the Canon R8 can shoot at 6 frames per second. But the Canon RP has a full mechanical shutter, and the Canon R8 only has a first curtain shutter. When we use a first curtain shutter, the exposure across the frame sometimes isn't quite as even. So why did I upgrade from the Canon RP to Canon R8 when it doesn't appear as good? So recording in silent shutter, where it doesn't need a mechanical shutter at all, the Canon RP can only shoot 1 frame, and there's no real control. It has to be in full auto mode. But with the Canon R8, it can shoot 40 frames a second, which is one of the things that makes this camera so incredible. 40 frames a second, that's like shooting video. So I use my camera for photography and video. In fact, I use my camera for video more than photography, and this is where the Canon R8 really stands out. When shooting it in 4K, the Canon RP can only shoot in crop mode, but with the Canon R8 it can shoot in full frame. It means it uses the whole sensor, and because it uses the whole sensor, it uses the full capability of the lens instead of cutting off the edges. To me, this makes a big difference. So the question is, why do I shoot in 4K? And there's 2 reasons. The first reason is 4K is slightly sharper. But the main reason is, if I shoot in 1080p, I can't really straighten my image, or I can't crop it. Because if you crop a 1080p image, the quality of the picture degrades so much that I think it becomes really unusable. So when shooting in 4K, the biggest advantage of the Canon R8 over the Canon RP is the Canon R8 can use dual pixel autofocus when focusing the camera. The Canon RP only has contrast detect autofocus, and contrast detect autofocus is really slow and it's not accurate, so it makes the video almost unusable. So this is probably the most important thing about the Canon R8 for video. Also shooting in video, the Canon R8 can shoot in CLOG 3, where the Canon RP can't. So previously when I shoot my videos, I noticed there was so much in shadow and so much which is a blown highlight. And when you shoot in CLOG 3, it shoots in super low contrast, and then what you do is you then adjust the contrast in post, and it gives you so much more flexibility. So I always shoot in CLOG 3 all the time. In conclusion, the Canon R8 is a far better camera than the Canon RP. For photography, it's that 40 frames a second that really matters to me. For video, it's the CLOG 3 and the dual pixel autofocus in 4K that is really important to me. So I hope this helps you in making up your own mind, and click subscribe if you want to see more videos.